Testament of Binyamin, chapter 1. A copy of the words of Binyamin, which he testified to his sons, having lived 125 years. He kissed them and said, Just as Yitzchak was born to Abraham in his old age, so I was born to Yaakov. Since Rachel my mother died as she was bearing me, I had no milk from her, but was nursed instead by Bilhah, her maidservant. For after Rachel bore Yosef, she was barren for 12 years. She prayed to Yehua with fasting, and conceived and gave birth to me. My father loved Rachel exceedingly, and prayed that he might see 2 sons born from her. For this reason I was called Binyamin, that is, son of days. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 2. When I came to Yosef in Mitzrayim, and my brother recognized me, he said, What did they say to my father when they sold me? And I replied to him, They spattered your coat with blood and sent it to him, and said, Do you know if this shirt belongs to your son? And Yosef said to me, Yes, brother. When they stripped off my shirt and gave me to the Ishmaelites, they gave me a loincloth, beat me, and told me to run. One of them who had whipped me was met by a lion, and it slew him. So his partners were horrified and kept me under a looser rein. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 3. Now, my children, love Yahweh Elohim of the Shamayim and earth. Keep his commandments. Pattern your life after the good and pious man Yosef. Let your thoughts incline to the good, as you know to be so with me, because he who has the right set of mind sees everything rightly. Reverence Yahuwah and love your neighbor, even if the spirits of Beliar seek to derange you with all sorts of wicked oppression. They will not dominate you, even as they were not able to dominate Yosef, my brother. How many men wanted to destroy him, and Elohim shielded him. For the person who fears and reverences Elohim and loves his neighbor cannot be plagued by the spirits of Beliar, since he is sheltered by the fear and reverence of Elohim. Neither man's schemes nor those of animals can prevail over him, for he is aided in living by this, by the love which he has toward his neighbor. Therefore Elohim helps him. Yosef also urged our father to pray for his brothers, that Yahweh would not hold them accountable for their sin which they so wickedly committed against him. And Yaakov cried out, O noble child, you have crushed the inner feelings of Yaakov your father. He embraced him and kept kissing him for 2 hours, saying, In you will be fulfilled the nevuah of the Shamayim, which says that the spotless one will be defiled by Torahless men, and the sinless one will die for the sake of impious men in the blood of the covenant, for the deliverance of the Gentiles and of Yisrael, and shall destroy Beliar and his servants. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 4. See then, my children, what is the end goal of the good man. Be imitators of him in his goodness because of his compassion, in order that you may wear crowns of esteem. For a good man does not have a dark eye, but he is merciful to all, even though they may be sinners. And even if persons plot against him for evil ends, by doing good this man conquers evil, being shielded by Elohim. He loves the righteous and those who wrong him as he loves his own life. If anyone is exalted, he holds no envy. If anyone becomes rich, he is not jealous. If anyone is brave, he praises him. The virtuous man he commends. He shows mercy to the impoverished. To the weak he shows compassion. Unto Yahuwah he sings praises. He loves the person who has the favor of a good ruach, as he loves his own life. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 5. If your mind is set toward good, even evil men will be at peace with you. The depraved will respect you and will turn back to the good. The greedy will not only abstain from their passion, but will give to the oppressed the things which they covetously hold. If you continue to do good, even the unclean spirits will flee from you, and wild animals will fear you. For where someone has within himself respect for good works and has light in the mind, darkness will flee away from that person. For if anyone unashamedly attacks a Kodesh man, He repents, since the Kodesh man shows mercy to the one who abused him and maintains silence. And if anyone betrays a righteous man, the righteous man prays. Even though for a brief time he may be humbled, later he will appear far more esteeming, as happened with Yosef, my brother. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 6. The deliberations of the good man are not in the control of the deceitful spirit Beliar, for the messenger of Shalom guides his life. For he does not look with passionate longing at corruptible things, nor does he accumulate wealth out of love for pleasure. He does not find delight in pleasure, nor does he grieve his neighbor, nor does he stuff himself with delicacies, nor is he led astray by visual excitement. Yahweh is his portion. The good mindset does not receive esteem or dishonor from men, nor does it know deceit or lying or conflict or abuse. For Yahweh dwells in him, illumines his life, and he rejoices in everything at every appropriate time. The good set of mind does not talk from both sides of its mouth, praises and curses, abuse and honor, calm and strife, hypocrisy and truth, poverty and wealth, but it has one disposition, uncontaminated and pure toward all men. There is no duplicity in its perception or its hearing. Whatever it does or speaks or perceives, it knows that Yahweh is watching over its life. For he cleanses his mind in order that he will not be suspected of wrongdoing either by men or by Elohim. The works of Beliar are twofold and have in them no integrity. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 7. So I tell you, my children, flee from the evil of Beliar, because he offers a sword to those who obey him, and the sword is the mother of the 7 evils. It receives them through Beliar. The first is moral corruption, the second is destruction, the third is oppression, the fourth is captivity, the fifth is want, the sixth is turmoil, the seventh is desolation. It is for this reason that Cain was handed over by Elohim for 7 punishments, for in every 100th year Yahweh brought upon him 1 plague. When he was 200 years old, suffering began, and in his 900th year he was deprived of life. For he was condemned on account of Hevel, his brother, as a result of all his evil deeds. But Lamech was condemned by 70 times 7. Until eternity, those who are like Cain in envy and hatred of brother shall be punished with similar judgment. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 8. But you, my children, run from evil, envy, and hatred of brothers. Cling to goodness and love, for the person with a mind that is pure with love does not look on a woman for the purpose of having sexual relations. He has no pollution in his heart, because upon him is resting the Ruah of Elohim. For just as the sun is unpolluted, though it shines on dung and slime, but dries up both and drives off the bad odor, so also the pure mind, though surrounded with the corruptions of earth, cleanses instead and is not itself corrupted. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 9. From the words of Hanoch the righteous, I tell you that you will be sexually promiscuous like the promiscuity of the Sodomites, and will perish, save a few. You shall resume your actions with loose women, and the sovereignty of Yahweh will not be among you, for he will take it away forthwith. But in your allotted place will be the Hakel of Elohim, and the last Hakel will exceed the former in esteem. The 12 tribes shall be gathered there, and all the nations, until such time as the Most High shall send forth his deliverance through the ministration of the only begotten Navi, and he shall enter into the Hakel, and there shall the Adonai be treated with outrage, and he shall be lifted up upon a tree, and the veil of the Hakel shall be rent, and the Ruach of Elohim shall pass on to the Gentiles as fire poured forth. And ye shall ascend from Sheol, and shall pass from earth into the Shamayim. And I know how lowly he shall be upon earth, and how esteeming in Shamayim. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 10. When Yosef was in Mitzrayim, I earnestly desired to see his appearance and the form of his face, and through my father Yaakov's prayers, I saw him while I was awake during the day, just as he was, his whole appearance. After he had spoken these things to them, he said, You know then, my children, that I am dying. Do the truth, each of you to his neighbor. Keep the Torah of Yahweh and his commandments. For I leave you these things instead of an inheritance. Give them then to your children for an eternal possession. This is what Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov did. They gave us all these things as an inheritance, saying, Keep Elohim's commandments until Yahweh reveals his deliverance to all the tribes. And then you will see Hanoch and Sheth and Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov being raised up at the right hand in great joy. Then shall we also be raised, each of us over our tribe, and we shall worship the sovereign of the Shamayim, who appeared upon earth in the form of a man in humility. And as many as believe on him on the earth shall rejoice with him. Then also all men shall rise, some unto esteem, and some unto shame. And the Adon shall judge Yisrael first for their unrighteousness. For when he appeared as the BЄn of Elohim in the flesh to deliver them, they believed him not. And then he shall do the same for all the nations, as many as believed him not when he appeared upon earth. Then he shall judge Yisrael by the chosen people, as he tested Esau by the Midianites who loved their brothers. You therefore, my children, may your lot come to be with those who fear and reverence Yahweh. Therefore, my children, if you live in qadosh, in accord with Yahweh's commands, you shall again dwell with me in hope. All Yisrael will be gathered to Yahweh. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 11. And I shall no longer be called a rapacious wolf on account of your rapine, but Yahweh's worker, providing food for those who do good works. And in later times there shall rise up the beloved of Yahweh from the lineage of Yehudah and Levi, one who does his good pleasure by his mouth, enlightening all the nations with new knowledge. The light of knowledge will mount up in Yisrael for her deliverance, seizing them like a wolf coming upon them, gathering the tribes. Until the consummation of the ages, he shall be in the congregations of the nations and among the rulers, like a musical air in the mouths of all. He shall be written of in sacred books, both his work and his word, and he shall be Yahuwah's chosen one forever. He shall range widely among them, like my father Yaakov, saying, He shall fill up what was lacking of your tribe. Testament of Binyamin, chapter 12. And when he had finished his statements, he said, I command you, my children, carry my bones up out of Mitzrayim, bury me in Hebron near my fathers. Binyamin died last of all in his 125th year at a ripe old age, and they placed him in a coffin. And in the 91st year after the departure of the sons of Yisrael for Mitzrayim, they and their brothers took up the bones of their fathers secretly because of the war with Canaan, and buried them in Hebron by the feet of their fathers. Then they returned from the land of Canaan and resided in Mitzrayim until the day of the departure from Mitzrayim.